Hello, this is Kyra. In this video, we are going to be starting our groups training series with part one. Part one is going to be covering the basics of group travel. So what constitutes a group? These numbers do vary. What I have here on my slide is just the general, most common answer you're going to get depending on what vendor, destination, time of year you are looking at. So for a hotel or a resort, a group is 10 or more rooms. When you're looking at a cruise, it's 8 or more cabins. Now, some cruise lines are 10 or more cabins. I have seen 5 or more cabins, okay? And then airfare is usually 10 or more passengers. So these are just the general numbers, again, that you would need to constitute a group when it comes to traveling. Please keep in mind they do vary. So we have two main types of groups, promotional and affinity groups. They both have pros and cons. So a promotional group is when you, as the travel agent, block off some space. So maybe you decide to pick out a cruise. Maybe you have a lot of clients who love to cruise and they all love to travel maybe they travel out of Port Canaveral. So maybe you say, you know what, I have a lot of clients. I'm going to market this to my clients. So I'm going to block off 10 cabins on this cruise that I've picked out. So you block off the space, but you don't really know who's going to travel. You have an idea of how you're going to market it, and you are going to have to market and promote that group by yourself, okay? That is a promotional group. It is something you can do, of course, but again, the main thing about a promotional group is that you block off the space not really knowing who the travelers are going to be in advance. Now, an affinity group, this is what we most like to prefer as travel agents, is a group with people who have something in common and they're traveling together. So oftentimes you have a group leader, and this group leader has decided that the group is going to travel together. They're going to go somewhere. Maybe they want to go stay at an all-inclusive in Cancun, and the group comes together. They have the group leader. They come to you, and they have a general idea of who is going to be traveling. So it may not be the entire group, but they know who it's going to be. They're generally more successful because you have that group leader who's advocating to the group members to come and join this group to travel together, okay? Two main types. Now we have subtypes for affinity groups. First off, we have the social groups. These are your family reunions, your friends trips, it's leisure travel. These are people who are traveling together to really just hang out and be together, okay? They may spend some time together. They also may spend time apart in the group, right? They may not be traveling to be together the entire time. Now you look at a wedding group, like a destination wedding, vow renewals, or bachelorette parties. These type of groups probably want some events together, right? They probably, if you have a destination wedding, they're going to have, you know, a ceremony and possibly a reception. Maybe they want to have dinner together. These groups really are more known for spending the time together, okay? That's going to kind of differentiate your social and your wedding groups. They're both traveling for more fun purposes. And then we have the corporate travel, which is, of course, for more work purposes. And you have corporate retreats, offsite meetings, conventions as some examples of corporate travel. Now, one thing to say about corporate travel that's a little different from the other types is that a lot of times when a business is planning a corporate offsite retreat, the business may be paying for 100% of the group. Okay, so this is something very different from the other two types of groups. This may not happen every time, but it does make your life easier as a travel agent when you have, you know, one person to talk to when it comes to payment. So that's a little different about corporate groups. Social groups and wedding groups, most of the times are going to be paid. Everybody's going to pay for their own room or for their own travel related expenses. So you're going to have a lot more payments there. Corporate can sometimes be a little different. Okay. Of course, that's more of a general statement there. So you have two ways that you can book a group. We're going to take a deep dive into both of these. First off, we have the contracted group. The main thing to know about a contracted group is that you are signing a contract, and it is going to lock in the price and the availability for that group. And it does come with extra benefits for the group. Now, flexible groups are offered by some vendors, okay? Not every vendor is going to offer this, but it is there a lot of the times. And it, brings the benefits of group travel, but it does not require a contract. So let's start by talking about the contracted groups. Okay, again, you're going to sign a contract. You as a travel agent are actually going to be signing the contract. Now, you should have a contract between yourselves and the group leader as well that the group leader is going to sign. But when the vendor provides you a contract for the group, you are going to be the one who signs that. Now, in the contract, there are going to be flexible payment and cancellation policies. These are all stated in the contract that you sign, okay? We will be talking a lot more about these policies in later parts of this training series. It also locks things in for you. So if you sign a contract for 15 cabins on a cruise, those cabins are blocked off. They're at a set price. That price will not change and the availability will not change, okay? So they are locked in and they're guaranteed for that group. So whatever you contract, that is locked in. Now, contracted groups often have a group portal that you use, okay? So the vendors offer these group portals that you would use with the group that you would typically not be doing with a flexible group. So it's sort of similar to the individual or the FIT reservations, but this group portal does usually bring things together, okay? And it's where you're going to book travel for the group. So it's very similar to what you're used to doing for just individual reservations, but it is something a little different that often comes with contracted groups. And then, of course, the benefits, okay? This is the good part. It's perks that you can give back to your group. You can give it to them as a gift. You can also often give it back to yourself as additional commission. So you're going to get some benefits there. Maybe the benefits are spa discounts, okay? The sky is really the limit with what might be offered to you when it comes to contracted group benefits. So a little bit more into flexible groups, okay? These are very simple, okay? When you have a flexible group, you book every room or every cabin just as if it was any old client, okay? Nothing different. They're FIT reservations. You book them in. Now, a lot of times vendors may offer a promo code, and when you make the reservation, you just put the promo code in at the checkout time, and that signals that reservation is part of a group. Maybe it comes with a small discount, okay? So that is the booking process for a flexible group. It's what you're already doing. It's very simple. It is also contractless. No signature and no paperwork is required in order to do this. You can usually get one set up right away. Now, they also often require less rooms and less travelers. So if you have a very small group wanting to travel, this is a great opportunity for flexible groups. Pricing, okay? This is one of the downsides to a flexible group because the pricing is varied and it is not locked in. So if someone, books today, they're going to get today's price. If someone else books in a week, they're going to get the price of that day, okay? So the pricing is not locked in. The pricing is not guaranteed. The availability is not guaranteed either. It is whatever is available that day and whatever the price is. There are also no booking timelines to adhere to, so you can add into the group at any time. This can be a benefit, okay? So if you have group where they might be booking very much last minute, maybe the week, 2 weeks before travel, you don't have to worry about that. If you have a contract, you may have some stipulations when it comes to doing things like that, but you don't with flexible groups. And they are recognized as a group even though they don't have a contract. Sometimes there are benefits for flexible groups, just like contracted groups have benefits too. So a summary here of contracted versus flexible groups. Okay, so the contracted groups have the locked-in pricing and guaranteed availability. This is a big selling point, okay? Great benefit to a contracted group. Now, in a flexible group, the pricing and availability varies. It's not guaranteed, and it's whatever's available and priced for that day and time that you are booking, okay? No promises are made there. Customer service. So contracted groups usually come with a dedicated customer service team. This is a team you're going to work with from start to finish. This is a team that, typically is going to be a little faster to answer the phone than maybe the general customer service line. I've had great experiences with customer service teams for groups in the past, okay? So they are great. They are experts on groups. They're there to help you, and you will probably learn some things from them. Now, with a flexible group, you have the same customer service options that are available for your standard FIT individual bookings, okay? So the same customer service line you would call for that, you're going to call for your flexible groups as well. Now, what is the right group type for each type of group? So contracted groups are best for medium to large size groups. I'm talking, 10, 15 plus rooms is best for a contract. It can be really hard, really tedious, and you can lose a lot of benefits to doing these really large groups as flexible groups. So I strongly recommend that you use contracts for those larger groups, especially when you start looking at 15, 20 or more rooms. Now, these groups who also need flexibility with payment and cancellation. So this is great for a group who knows, okay, I've got a lot of people going. I don't know exactly how many people are going, but I do know that I'm going to have a group here traveling, right? They like the flexibility with payment, cancellation, reduction, and attrition that we're going to talk about a little more in the later parts. Now, flexible groups are best for smaller groups, okay? Smaller groups, 5 rooms, maybe up to 10, 12, 15 rooms, probably tops. I'd really be looking at 5 to 10 rooms for flexible groups. These are groups who may be multi-origin, right? They may be coming from different places because they are not going to be contracting air most likely. So the multi-origin groups work really well for flexible groups. And these are groups who do not need the contract. You may find yourself in a situation where you actually have a flexible group without maybe even realizing it. So let's say you have 6 couples who all want to travel together. They want to go to the all-inclusive resort. They know where they want to go. They know when they want to go. You have these 6 couples, they want to travel together, and they come to you as a client, okay? They may not realize they are a group, but they may fit in as a flexible group depending on what vendor you're looking at. And of course, destination and all of those things matter too. But you may find yourself in that situation, and that's when you should sign up for the flexible group stuff with the vendor and take advantage of those benefits, because sometimes it does happen by surprise. Okay, so there's that thing to know about flexible groups as well. So thank you so much. This was part 1, just a basic overview of groups. I will see you in part 2.